and welcome to our online event, The Power of a Plan, with Over 40 Females Networking Community. Ronit, Rogoszinski. Okay, Over 40 Females is a live and online networking community, over40females.com. We're specifically tailored for women over the age of 40, and we speak to women in transition, which is basically all of us, whether it be divorce, health issues, financial concerns, which we are going to be going into depth about this evening, the empty nest syndrome. We are all divorce, health issues, financial concerns, which we are going to be going into depth about this evening, the empty nest syndrome. We are all in it together, all of us women over 40. We currently have 17 chapters nationwide, growing more and more every day, and each one of them have exciting powerhouse events monthly. And we're now proud to say that we're bringing you this thrilling experience online, right here, whether there's a chapter near you or not. And this is one of our last free online events, so make sure and join as a member if you want to continue reaping the benefits of Over 40 Females. It's less than $10 a month with a special offer that we are going to give you a little later in this call. Okay, good day, Philly. There's the latest press coming up in a minute on your slide in front of you. We did this in tandem with our Philadelphia launch. I went on Good Day Philadelphia with Mike Jarek and Sue Serio. Really exciting. We got a great response from it, and I got to tell about how Over 40 Females came to be, which it was built through a recession, bankruptcy, and even a couple of layoffs thrown in there. So it's an exciting segment. It says a lot about Over 40 Females and where we came from. And What Women Want Talk Radio, every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Ladies, this radio show is for you. Its topic is about what you want to hear. We have incredible guests. We have a lot of Over 40 Females on there, especially speakers, board members, and business members. And if you want to be on the show, please email me your pitches at whatwomenwantshow.com. whatwomenwantshow@gmail.com. Okay, so send me pitches. I'm looking for co-hosts and guests to interview. That email is whatwomenwantshow@gmail.com, and of course, our members get priority. Okay, we are constantly getting our members out there and noticed and in the press. I am not the only one that's going on TV, believe it or not. Once in a while, I bring a member with me. So this time, it was a member from New York City. And a few weeks ago, Julia Klein went on by herself without me. We booked her on an NBC Connecticut segment. She got to talk about her book and that she was speaking at with Over 40 Females and her business. So that was very exciting. We're really getting our members out there. So by the way, I'm Judy Goss, the founder of Over 40 Females, and I started this company 3 years ago. And my background comes from having been an editor at More and Cosmopolitan magazines and also More's national TV spokesperson for almost 2 years. I've been on countless TV segments across the country for both More magazine and a lifestyle expert from the CBS Early Show to Good Morning America. I've been on them all. And I am also a published author with St. Martin's Press, a TV host, now a radio show host, model, and was even an internet marketing consultant for a website at one point with over 1 million members. And there's a few of my several lives and careers. So this event will be just like the one thousands of women are attending across the country for Over 40 Females every month to enhance themselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. We have over 500 women a month now across the country attending events monthly. So this event will be with a motivational guest speaker, just like our live events. Unique raffle prize. We have a beauty bag at the end worth $125 or $150, and you have to stay on the call all the way to the end to win. We have personal member highlights from our Over 40 Females members who have reserved a spot to highlight themselves, and we also have the support of hundreds of women that are going to be on this call. So I love that. We're all supporting each other. It's such good energy. So if you want to be one of these women who are an official member of the Over 40 Females, and support women around the country that are bettering themselves in your demographic. Like I said, I do have a special offer for you towards the end of this call for less than $10 a month. And it's exciting because the members have not only appeared on TV segments around the country and magazines, newspapers, and we're promoting the heck out of them on the website. And but it's also a place where women can come together and form a close-knit community. So this is very exciting because this is really the original reason I started Over 40 Females from the very beginning. I wanted all of us to come together and understand each other and help push each other into a higher level. Okay, our chapter locations. On the screen right now, those are all the states that we're in. We have 2, 3, 4 chapters in some of those states. So very exciting. We used to open about a chapter every couple of months. Now we're opening 3 to 4 months. And I'm trying to fly to everyone. So I am constantly meeting hundreds and hundreds of women across the country. And I do know, it was funny because the other day someone asked me, well, what kind of women are you trying to attract to over 40 females? And I said, you know what? I built this company around the woman that I am. Basically, someone who's been through, financial upheaval, been through the layoffs, I've been through divorce, I've been through this, I've been through that. And I wanted a place for someone like me, someone like us, where we could come together and just reap the benefits of the resources that we can provide for you and also what you can give back to us and other women. So, all of our members, we have a member from Westchester, New York. She actually didn't leave the house. She told me, I have two or three members that have told me this. They were so depressed when they were going through what they were going through that they didn't leave the house except to go to an Over 40 Females networking event. So we have them every month, like I said, and hope you'll join us. Okay, so let's get on with the program this evening. We have our incredible members. We can't do it without you, of course. After our guest speaker is through, we're going to highlight select members from our website. There may be a couple of surprises in there. Some of them know they're being selected, and some of them are surprises. And this is just how we do, the events in person, right? We have everything but the wine, pretty much. So you can, if you're in your house, you please pour a glass and cheers. And we also have our beauty bag worth $125. There it is. Some valuable products to get that face into gear, and also a signed copy of Gail Segel's book, Making Faces Beautiful. So you have all those products by Full Lips, Tilt Beauty, The Socializer, Beecology, and a signed book, Making Faces Beautiful by Gail Segel. All right, here we go. And now, drum roll, please. I am going to introduce you to our special guest speaker, Ronit Rogoszinski, Certified Financial Planner and Wealth Advisor. I love it, The Power of a Plan. That's such a great title. Ronit has been demystifying investment strategies for clients for over 22 years, specializing in transitioning individuals through major life changes such as widowhood, divorce, and job loss. Ronit's expertise is translated to actionable, prudent strategies that are custom-made to fit each client's unique situation. Over the years, she has earned the title of Trusted Advisor as clients have become lifelong friends and partners in the management of their financial plans. Ronit has been quoted on Fox Business News, CNBC, Bankrate, and Investment News, just to name a few. Securities offered through LPL Financial, and she is a member of FINRA and the SIPC. Ronit, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say this evening because it's really, with no pun intended, very powerful what you have to say.
Well, thank you so much, Judy. It's really exciting to be here. And yes, I think that when it comes to money, women have assumptions about their abilities that I really want to put aside, crush, do away with, and really empower them to take over their finances. So, and I hope that's
absolutely.
I hope that's what we accomplished tonight. So thank you for having me.
Oh, please. It's our absolute pleasure, and thank you for being a member of the Speakers Board from Long Island.
It's been wonderful.
I also want to say that if anyone has any questions, while Ronit is talking, we would love to hear from you. Any questions at all, even if whether it's something she's going over or just, anything that you have, please feel free to email us. I think it's very accessible there if you're watching the slides. There's a place that it says, if you have a question, please click here. So that would be great. Okay, Ronit, take it away.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Well, good evening, ladies. Welcome to The Power of the Plan. I really want to speak to you tonight about women and wealth. The three most common challenges that we women face when it comes to our dealing with our finances, the three most common, I think, are the unpredictable life events. And Judy, you just mentioned, divorce, widowhood, layoffs. Life throws us lemons, and sometimes we are simply forced to deal with them as they are thrown at us. We also have some economic realities and real retirement planning hurdles that we need to overcome. And one of the challenges that I find most common in women is really the fear of making a mistake. Sometimes we get so overly analytical about what we want to accomplish, we get frozen in place because of our fear of making a mistake. So depending on whatever challenges you're facing in your individual stage of life, what I really wanted to do first was take a quick look at 5 different life stages and the specific challenges that they each offer or that they each need to be handled with. Obviously, the first one that I want to look at, and it's interesting though, just as one point, when I've gone to all the over 40 females meetings, I've seemed to have met a woman from every one of these 5 categories, so I'm sure each and every one of us will be able to relate to one of these 5 situations.
That is for sure. Even as I was reading your bio, I was hitting every, all those topics. I thought, good Lord, I've gone through most of this.
Yep, absolutely. Now, the reality is that, women today, it's interesting, the census showed us that for the career-oriented women, there's been an evolving presence both in academia and the business world, creating some incredible opportunities for women. And in fact, women today outnumber men when it comes to bachelor degrees and higher degrees. Women today are starting their own businesses. We know that ourselves from over 40 females. And in fact, over 10 million exist today. But what that translates into is that women employ over 13 million people that generate about almost $2 trillion in sales revenue.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the challenge, and I think we've heard about it quite a bit lately, is that women, when you compare them to their male counterparts, are still making less money or less
I know. What's up with that?
It's infuriating, and that's why I think the challenge for women is to be aware of that and to really put together plans in place with mentors and people in their circle of influence to make sure that they're actually focused on that and eliminating that differential. So that's something that's a challenge to career-oriented women. A lot of us know about, whether we've done it ourselves or we know somebody that chose to stay at home. Whether you're taking off just a couple of months or if it turns into a couple of years, it's a phenomenal opportunity for women to, for us to bring our children up. But the financial cost that we are paying for that is astronomical. In fact, if you look at the census, again, if you look at the statistics on the second point in the slide, when women do look at Social Security benefits down the road, we're earning almost $300 less than men because of the fact that over the years, spending time out of the job market really impacts our long-term savings plans. One of the challenges that stay-at-home moms face is somehow we stop paying ourselves. We want to do everything, we want to be everything for everyone, but we don't pay ourselves. And so the challenge that stay-at-home moms face and that I want them to not make is that they need to continue to set up a plan for them to get paid, even though they are in fact staying at home. So that's something we can touch upon a little bit later. Women today, we are the financial decision makers. Whether we planned it or not, whether we choose to or not, we are taking a much greater control of the daily purchases, even major investment decisions in the household. In fact, today, corporate America is very well aware that women have the purchasing power for almost 80% of all the consumer goods that come into the home, including computers and automobiles, believe it or not. And a lot more women, again, by planning or not, choosing or not, eventually do have to get involved in the actual investment choices for the household. So, with greater power comes greater responsibility, and that's really where it's so important for women to get comfortable in working with advisors, with professionals to really make decisions on the monies for the households. Okay? You touched upon, divorcees. That is an incredibly emotionally draining experience. But the statistics again show us that while, when a couple is divorced, the men tend to experience only about a 10% decrease in income, while women are likely to experience as much as 30% decline. So not only do you need to deal with the fact that you are going from a dual income house to a single income household, but you also have to now deal with taking on the sole responsibility for everything that comes along with that household. And so, again, it is an incredibly emotional event, but it should not minimize your ability to save and to get hold of people that can help you and assist you in taking over the finances and being proactive about it. So again, we'll touch upon that a little bit later. Finally, a lot of us, look, at the end of the day, some of us, most women are, a lot of women are spending a good part of their lives by themselves or making financial decisions for themselves, whether it's they've never married or, divorced a long time ago or simply just don't have children or, grown kids have left the house. We're realizing that over 90% of women at some point will be responsible for taking care of their own finances. Excuse me, I'm getting over a head cold, but this is pretty good so far. So in many cases, again, when you make plans, it's not just about the couple, planning for the couple today, but it's really making sure that the income and the planning goes that much further out, because eventually chances are you might end up being alone. And so you need to make sure that those plans account for that longevity. Okay? So now that we've sort of, hopefully somebody can relate to one of those stages, that I just sort of flew through. But really now what I want to do is, regardless of where you are in life, regardless of what's, profile or situation you might have been able to relate to, there are 10 simple steps that I want every single one of us to become very, very comfortable with. And in fact, if, those of you listening in tonight, if you want me to email you these particular 10 steps, contact Judy or she can give out my email later on. I'd be more than happy to send this to you because, it's no good sitting on my hard drive if it's not reaching you. So if you want
if you want to tell them right now how they can get a hold of you,
sure,
that's fine.
They can email me at Ronit, R-O-N-I-T, at archfg.com. That's A-R-C-H, F as in Frank, G as in George.com. Or they can call me. I'm at 516-596-8581. And I'll be more than happy to send, this information directly to you.
Terrific.
So let's dive in to step number one. Before you do anything, my feeling is before you go out there and start to talk to advisors or professionals or basically get any help, you must do this step as a homework assignment, as a mandatory homework assignment. You need to know what you own. You need to know what you owe. You need to know what money comes in and what money comes out. And I'm convinced that somebody out there is going, oh, please, I know this. The issue is I've been doing this for now almost 25 years, and we all kind of know, we sort of know, but we really don't know it to the details of what's actually coming in, what's actually going out, what is our name on. A lot of us, assume that the house is in joint name or I'm the beneficiary on the 401k, but until you actually know that you know, just assume you don't. So this type of homework assignment, I recommend you do once, whether you do it on an Excel spreadsheet or on legal pads or on stickies on the wall. Know these numbers and then go back once a year, twice a year, once every other year to make sure that it's updated and current. We get our teeth cleaned twice a year. We get a physical once a year. There is no reason why this information should not be updated on an annual basis. So this is by far step number one. Even though, again, you might know you might think you know, make sure that what you know is in fact correct. Okay? Step number two then is you need to know what your credit history. Okay? Do you have credit in your own name? I can't begin to tell you how many women I speak to that don't have a credit card in their own name. The mortgage is not even on their name. You need to make sure you have credit in your own name because if, God forbid, something does happen and you do find yourself alone, you want to be able to pay the bill. You want to be able to go in and buy food. And if you don't have something on your name and somebody else closes it down, it's a problem. So make sure you have credit in your own name. Are you comfortable with the credit limits that you have? You might have too much. You might have too little. Make sure you know what the credit limits are. And also then know how much you owe. I gave you some phone numbers here. It's not a bad idea every so often to just call, just kind of make sure that there's nothing out there that's not, pertinent to you. And I gave you the 800 numbers here of the 3 credit companies that you can actually call and get an accurate credit history free. So this is not something that you should be paying for, okay? At the same step number 2, you also need to know your insurance coverage. Now, insurance can become incredibly complex and very, very, almost overwhelming. Again, understand initially just what you have as far as life, health, personal property, car, home, your liability, your liability, disability, long-term care. Just know what you have, know what it's covering. And then before you go and sit with a professional to review, because one of the things you want to make sure is that you're not overinsured. You also don't want to be underinsured. It needs to make sense, because at the end of the day, I hate to see somebody who's paying so much money into different insurances, but doesn't go out to dinner because you can't afford it. So,
Ronit, I'm just going to interrupt you here. I'm sorry. We
Sure.
do have a question back to the credit card subject.
Sure.
Can credit cards raise your rates without you knowing? I guess they mean maybe can they just raise it? I don't think without you knowing, but how would you answer that one?
I don't believe that they can do that without you knowing. I don't want to answer yes or no because
can they do it without warning? Maybe
I don't think they can do it without warning unless they do it to the entire client, world. It's the same thing with insurance premiums. They can't just come and, if you have a condition, they can't just come and raise your premium. They have to raise the entire group. So I would assume that's the same with credit cards, but it's definitely worth making a phone call into your credit company and making sure that you get a straight answer. Does that help? I hope that helps.
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure it does. You know what? I'll let you know if they email us back.
Sure, absolutely. Because honestly, if I don't know something, I'm more than happy to look into it and then maybe shoot you an email, and then you can pass it on to the individual herself. But I don't believe they can do it without warning. Absolutely not. Okay. So know your insurances, and then from there, I would step to step number 3, which is where you need to set clear financial goals. Now, notice I wrote your priorities as number 1, your responsibilities as number 2, and then your dreams as number 3. A lot of us like to sit and dream and what if and and come up with all these fabulous goals. But at the end of the day, we need to start with what our priorities are. I need to know that I can be independently safe, if finances take a turn for the worse. I want peace of mind knowing that I'm in control. I understand what's going on. Maybe early retirement to you is really an opportunity to change careers. Maybe you've done something for the last 20, 30 years and you'd like to start something else. So how do you plan for this? So priorities need to be listed, and I would recommend that this step, priorities, listing your responsibilities, listing your dreams, take your laptop, take your legal pad, go out somewhere where you can be alone and really sit back and think this through and prioritize it. Because ultimately your financial goals, these sets of goals, they need to be measurable. You want them to be achievable, but you also want them to be compatible. It's lively to write down things, but if they're not attainable, if you can't measure them, if you can't, exercise them, they're just pipe dreams. So I really want somebody to sit down, put some thought into this, but make them, like I said, measurable, achievable, and compatible.
Okay, Ronit, I have another question here. Somebody
Great.
that's emailed in. They would like to know when you told them to get the information from a previous slide, all of the different categories of the expenses and what's coming in and going out, that type of thing. They were wondering, yes, there you go. Okay. They were wondering how exactly they should put that down in an Excel sheet, or how should they be recording that type of thing?
I've had again. This is where your personal preference comes in. There's no right or wrong. It needs to work for you. I've sat with women who have come up with Excel spreadsheets that blew me away, color-coded lines with formulas. I mean, just unbelievable Excel spreadsheets. I've sat with women with, 10 different legal pads on the dining room table, each, monitoring a different expense. But
at least they have it. They have their lists, right? Whichever way it is.
Exactly. If you need to create a folder for every one of your payees, whether it's for electric, for the car, literally keeping receipts and then filing them at the end of the day in different folders or different envelopes that are titled, whatever works for you. But if you can track your expenses for a month and then really get a handle on who got paid what, it's such an empowering process, and it's an incredibly eye-opening process. So excellent question. But again, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's whatever system you feel. And look, try one thing. If it doesn't work, try something else. But at the end of the day, you need to know where you spend your hard-earned money and on what. Okay?
Okay.
It's amazing when you do that, what you actually find yourself spending money on. Okay? So I'm going to move forward to step number 4, which is really, this is when the investment plan comes into place. Now, notice that it's step number 4. A lot of us will walk into somebody's office and say, I need to put, $5,000 away into something for my retirement, and they'll just say, okay, here's a fund or here's a product. When in fact, unless you've done step 1, 2, and 3, how do you really know what your investment plan is going to look like? So I encourage you to do step number 1 through 3 before you sit down, and now ask yourself, when you start to put the investment plan together, where are you in your current life stage? What lifestyle are you actually used to? What are your primary investment goals? If your priority was retire, safely, financially safe, make sure that your primary investment goals now can be lined up with your personal goals. What is your investment time horizon? That's crucial because, again, different goals might have different time horizons attached to them. So once you've given the goals and the time frame, you then need to ask yourself what levels of investment risk are appropriate for me to take. And when you review these life stages, your financial goals, with somebody that can give you an objective opinion as to the risk levels that you can associate with them, now you can actually start to develop that asset allocation strategy, to actually start talking about investments. But before you actually look at the investments themselves, I just want you to understand the power of investing over time. And to me, investing early and often is key. So no matter what stage of life you're at, no matter what issues are going on through your life, again, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or divorced or living alone or running a business, starting early and often is huge. And what I wanted to show you here, as simply as possible, is to take a hypothetical $10,000 investment, and we're going to add to it every single month, whether it's $50, $100, or $200. We're going to assume just a straight 8% return. And some of you may have seen this, before, but I just want you to see for a second, if I invest $200 every single month on top of the $10,000 for the next 5 years, in 5 years I have almost $30,000 saved. Now, some of you, and I've had those conversations, $200 is too much. I don't have that right now. To me, $50 is something that, it's a night out. It's a night out. You can come up with 50. Maybe if it's that dire, maybe not, but you can always put aside something, because extend that money, extend those deposits now over the next 10 years, and your $200 a month can become 60. Your 50 can become 30. Imagine think back where you were 10 years ago, and wouldn't it be nice to have another $60,000 just sitting there, ready and available for you to go execute that goal that you were saving towards? Look at 20 years. If we're in our 40s today, 20 years from now, we're going to be in our 60s. If we started today, it'd be nice to have another $165,000 sitting there, and all we needed to do was figure out how to come up with $200 and just put it away every single month. So this is a huge, huge, fact that I think a lot of us get. I'll do tomorrow, and my feeling is started yesterday. Okay.
Right. I do have another question here.
Yes.
And it kind of segues into your, if you'll just have money sitting around. But this is a little bit off topic, but we did get it emailed, so I'm going to ask you anyway.
Absolutely.
If you are under life insured and have a husband with health issues, so life insurance is too expensive, what is a rule of thumb?
Well,
if you are under life insured and have a husband with health issues, so life insurance is too expensive, what is the rule of thumb there?
Well, again, it's a tough question to answer because I don't know the entire financial picture. If you're talking about insuring him, he may not be insurable because of whatever condition he has right now. There are, again, I would speak to an insurance specialist. There are companies out there that do group plans. In other words,
Mhm.
yes, you might have a higher premium than if he was in, better health, but there still might be something, again, depending on the condition and depending on everything else that's going on. There are companies that do underwrite um, with a much more flexible underwriting criteria, but then obviously the premiums are higher, so you have to see if that's affordable to you. If you're talking about, insuring yourself, that's a whole different issue. There are policies where it's a second to die. So basically, the life insurance will only pay out to the beneficiaries when both of you pass away. So again, it's a conversation to have with an insurance professional because it could get a little complex,
Mhm.
but don't think that it's not possible. If it's not possible, then it's obviously something catastrophic, but at least have that conversation. Again, get educated, go out there and find the right information. You don't have to
And
feel
could you
pressured.
provide a referral for
Yes,
this person?
absolutely. If she
Okay.
wants to reach
Okay.
out to
So
me,
if
absolutely.
I don't know the name of who it is, but if they're listening, if you could just repeat your email again, if they want to contact you, for
Yeah, or
help with that.
my email is Ronit, Ronit, at archfgfrankgeorge.com. And I'll be
Okay,
more than
great.
happy to, again, sometimes you just want a little bit more of the picture to kind of see which way they
Sure.
should be channeled.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it can
But yeah,
become very personal, very tailored.
absolutely. But again, they shouldn't feel pressured into doing anything. Okay. So, all right. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is really choosing your investments. Now, this is a topic that I could spend, hours on. I'm just going to throw the slide out there and kind of throw an idea out. Traditionally, we had I'm sure you've heard this whole concept of the asset allocation where you take different asset classes and sort of diversify your portfolio, leave it in there, review it every couple of years. That was really the traditional portfolio. What I found was a lot of my clients were trying to time the market. Oh, real estate is hot, let me jump in. Oh, emerging market is hot, let me jump in. And by trying to sort of pick and choose these different asset classes, they were sometimes, buying high and selling low when they should in fact be doing the opposite. So what I try to get women to understand is first and foremost, have your core portfolio. In other words, take the stuff that chances are you're not really going to touch ever and make that your core. The large cap companies, the U.S. based companies, the international large companies, because the reality of it today is that a lot of the companies that we know instantly when we see their logo or or hear the product, we associate the name with it, are really global companies. So if you have a core holding, but then put I call it the satellites, put those funky, more funky type of asset classes around your core, those you can now start to sort of take in and out of the portfolio while leaving the core in place. Excuse me. When you combine the two, you get even more diversification, and you might even lower your volatility. So I'm going to throw it out there again. This could be a topic, that we could discuss for hours. But again, if you have somebody you're working with, or this is something you're thinking of, try to sort of separate out the core from the satellites rather than trying to sort of jump in and out of different things all the time. Okay? Number 7, I want you to capitalize on tax advantage vehicles to help save for retirement. I can't talk about this enough. Women are living longer. 85% of those of us who are over 85 are women. Again, women over 65 that are collecting Social Security, a lot of them are relying almost 100% on Social Security. We have to take advantage of the tax advantage vehicles that are out there. And this is where I would encourage you to also speak to your accountant. What can I be doing? What are the plans that I should be in based on how I file my tax returns and what kind of opportunities I have at work? So don't be afraid to use these vehicles. Again, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, okay, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, still take a look at this at these vehicles as a viable option for you to use.
Are these listed in any kind of order?
No, I just put it out
Okay.
there as as random. Yeah, it's
Okay.
whatever could work for you. Any one of these, honestly, you could use. So, and again, we can talk about each and every one of them in detail, but this is things for you to look at and really consider for yourselves. Okay, and again, call your professional, call your accountant to see which one would make the most sense for you to utilize. The next step is now you want to protect your assets through smart estate planning. Obviously you want to know, you want to write a will, you want to have documents in place that are going to protect the people that you want to protect if something should happen to you. The one biggest point that I'm going to highlight here is make sure you know who your current beneficiaries are. A lot of us, may have started working 20, 25 years ago. We may not have been married, or have kids. Our beneficiary on that 401k that's still sitting 2 jobs ago might have your parents on as beneficiaries, and maybe both of them have already passed away. Understand that knowing who your beneficiaries are is crucial, because any account that has a beneficiary named on them, like a 401k, like an IRA, those types of accounts bypass probate. So even if you now intend to leave everything to your children, but if your old 2 jobs ago 401k is still sitting there with another relative on there, they're getting that money. So make sure that you update your beneficiaries. Make sure you know who you've designated as beneficiary for all your plans. Okay, that's so, so, so important. Next step, is stay informed. Read, get out there, surf the net, join different groups, consult with professionals. Understand that, there's noise and there's information. So I don't suggest that you sit and listen to the radio 24/7 and react to every commentator, but be comfortable with where you are and what you're doing, and then use these resources to really stay on top of what's going on out there, because things are moving fast. Things are changing. It doesn't mean that you have to make a change, but it's nice to know that you know. Okay? And then finally, I always advocate work with a financial advisor. Work with somebody that can give you an objective opinion on what it is that you are looking to accomplish. Don't feel obligated to work with somebody that you're not comfortable with. Find somebody that speaks your language, that is available to you, and that is really willing to listen to what you want to accomplish. And by getting that objective opinion based on the training, based on the experience, you can really put together a plan that makes sense for you over time. The 10 steps are just that. They're 10 steps, but I like to look at it as almost like a treadmill. When you finally get to step 10, usually that's when you want to start to sort of go back to step number 1. You kind of want to go through this process, like I said, at least once a year, if not every other year, to make sure that as you move through the different life cycles, as different things come along, your finances are current to that point in time. Because what might have made sense 5 years ago may not make sense for you today. And so stay on top of it and stay engaged. And I honestly believe women can, you can take charge of your finances and live a very secure, happy life. And with that, I'm going to end, but I would love to, if there's many more questions, I'd be more than happy to take some more.
Absolutely. I don't think we have any in the queue at the moment, but that was really excellent, and I appreciate that you still held this presentation when you weren't feeling so well. So it was really terrific. You are really knowledgeable about what you do, and passionate too. So it's nice. I think women over 40 are really looking for not just resources in a one-dimensional way, but people who are really passionate about what they do, as well as knowledgeable and that sort of thing, because you don't want to just sit down across from someone and just get the spiel.
Correct.
You really want someone who's interested and really wanting to help women in this way.
Correct, and I think that's why it's so important for you to when you come in prepared and you know where you are, you know what your objectives are, you feel more in control. You have to remember that we as professionals work for you, the client. So it's not the opposite way around. So if you're not comfortable in getting your questions answered, if you're not comfortable in the attention that you're being given, it's okay to say thank you and move on. And I think that's something that I always try to empower women, because we sort of feel bad, we might hurt somebody's feeling. No, understand that we are here to help you. And don't be afraid to ask for that help in a way that works for you.
Absolutely. Okay, so Ronit, if one more time, if you could just give your email, it's what is it again?
It's
RONIT.
RONIT at archfg.com. And my direct line,
Okay,
if anybody wants to call me, is 516-596-8581. And in fact,
excellent. And
quite,
go
quite
ahead.
honestly,
Go
like
ahead.
again, if you want the presentation, I'm happy to send you the 10 steps. And, if you want to then call me and get a 30-minute free conversation on the phone, it'll be my pleasure to help.
Thank you so much for all of that. And if you just want to, hang on till the end, in case we
Absolutely.
do have any more questions pop in there, that would be absolutely terrific.
Thank
So,
you,
and
Judy.
thank you. That was a great presentation. And now we're going to move on to present our selected members for the evening to highlight them and promote them. And our first member here we have coming up is Grace Martinez from our Chicago chapter. She lives in Lincolnwood, Illinois. She's a broker associate for Exit Strategy Realty. Grace began her real estate career in 2005 and is very passionate about her business, another one. So if you live in Chicago and you're looking for real estate, please call on Grace. Absolutely terrific. And Stephanie Ransom from Long Island, another Long Islander here tonight. She lives in Merrick, New York. She's in marketing, sales, corporate branding, and her doing business as Source One Promo. Okay, and I know Over 40 Females happens to have used her for a few promotional items, so we know she's terrific, Stephanie Ransom. And Linda Ellers from our Chicago chapter. She lives in Palos Hills, Illinois. And I don't know who Linda works for, but she looks terrific. And thank you for being a member of Over 40 Females, Linda, from Chicago. And there are our sponsors, so we can't do it without our members, and we can't do it without our sponsors, that's for sure. So the first one is Six Figure Start, Caroline Sinitza Levine. She's a business member. She did I think it was 7 Steps to Better Negotiations a few weeks ago for one of our teleseminars, one of our online events. So, and then we also have Nichols MD. Then you have the website right there. She is a fantastic dermatologic cosmetic surgeon out of Greenwich, Connecticut. She's one of our business members. Ella Health also is a business member. Ella Health, their motto is advancing women's wellness, and they have 3D mammographies, which I didn't realize that insurance actually takes. So with these 3D mammographies, I thought you had to pay them out of pocket. So that's really good to go in there. They're opening up nationwide. I know they have an office in Greenwich, and I believe out west in a couple of places, but definitely look them up because that's something that all of us could use. And also SusieSaid.com, they're huge supporters of ours, and they just promote the heck out of our events, and we're very appreciative of another sponsor. So, Ronit, I don't have a question for you, but I do have someone that texted and said that you were fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much.
I just wanted to give you
Thank
that
you.
one. We want to give the compliments too, as well as the the questions. And
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yes, no problem. You were fantastic. So our special offer for this call, before we announce the raffle, our $125 beauty bag that's sitting right beside me, and a nice little purple gift bag, we have our online membership that is worth $120. Now you can get it for less than $10 a month for the people that are on this call only. So there's the link and a free bonus with a 30-minute free workshop of how to be on TV. That's a workshop with me, Judy Goss. I've done a lot of TV in the past few years, everything from regional to national segments. I've hosted my own shows, and I will let you know what to say, how to act, what to do, what to wear when you book that TV segment. And you can book it. You can. I used to do it all the time when I wasn't very well known in the TV world just by having the right pitch. So join us online if you want to become part of this close-knit community. It's 26 cents a day, actually. And if you purchase one this evening, I will be hosting that free 30-minute workshop. So, and write the link down. I'm sorry. Go back. Can you just, if you could just go back to the link, over40females.com/online year discount. All right, there we go. And moving on, save your spot now for July's online event. North Atlanta's Nancy Lovejoy. Oh, we got someone from Atlanta. Excellent. Save your spot today. Go to the event calendar, or you can go to this link over40females.com/online teleseminar, Let It Grow, Nurturing the Leader Within You. Oh, that's so apropos. Our What Women Want show this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is about women leaders. So to hear us live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time this Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific, you can go to latalkradio.com, and the show is What Women Want. So that's funny that we both have shows coming up with women leaders. It's very apropos, especially for over 40 females, because at this point we are all leaders with everything that we know and we've been through. Okay, our raffle prize is going out to Shannon Dawn from Texas. So Shannon, please email us your address so we could probably look it up on the website if you have your profile filled out completely. But if you don't, please email us your address where you would like your beauty bag to be delivered. I have a bunch of stuff here. It looks so fantastic, all of those products, and a book signed by Gail Sagel. So very exciting. Shannon Dawn from Texas. Please give us an email. Oh, let me tell you my email, info@over40females.com. So email us and give us the address. And again, thank you for joining us with the power of the plan, Ronit. Again, I know you're not feeling up to par, but boy, you were just absolutely fantastic, full of knowledge and passion, and we really appreciate you being on the call.
Thank you.
Everyone on the call, we hope to see you online or in person at an event very soon. Good night, everyone.